We live in the age of Google Earth. Drones have filmed the peaks of Everest. Submarines have mapped the floor of the Mariana Trench. You'd think the planet has no secrets left, but you'd be wrong. Scattered across oceans, ice fields, and jungles are pockets of Earth so remote, so dangerous, or so deliberately hidden that fewer people have seen them than have walked on the moon. Today, we're counting down 5 places that exist on no tourist itinerary. Places with no Wi-Fi, no rescue services, and almost zero human footprints. From a radioactive island locked in time to a cave that swallows helicopters. This is the Earth you're not supposed to find. Number 5. The Gates of Hell, Darvaza, Turkmenistan. The Gates of Hell. Officially named the Darvaza gas crater, this is a 230-foot wide pit in the middle of the Karakum Desert that has been on fire for over 50 years. The story begins in 1971, when Soviet geologists were drilling for natural gas. The ground beneath their rig collapsed, creating a massive crater and releasing deadly methane. Expecting poisonous gases to spread to nearby villages, the scientists did something drastic. They lit it on fire. They assumed the gas would burn out in a few weeks. Half a century later, it is still burning. Today, the crater resembles a scene from a fantasy novel, a glowing orange wound in the earth, with flames leaping 20 feet high and heat so intense you can feel it from the rim's edge. Yet almost no one visits. Why? Turkmenistan is one of the world's most secretive and isolated countries. Visas are nearly impossible for independent travelers, and the government actively discourages tourism to Darvaza. Those who do make the journey, perhaps a few dozen per year, must cross armed checkpoints and drive for hours across featureless desert. At night, the silence is absolute except for the roar of burning gas. Locals call it the door to hell, and some believe it's a portal to another realm. Scientists, meanwhile, have descended into the crater only once, in 2013, to collect extremophile bacteria that survive inside the inferno. The president of Turkmenistan has ordered the crater to be extinguished, but no one knows how. Until then, it remains a fiery monument to human error, hidden in plain sight. Number 4. The Svalbard Global Seed Vault, inside a mountain, Norway. Hidden by nature, but by human design, the Svalbard Global Seed Vault. Buried 400 feet inside a sandstone mountain on a remote Norwegian archipelago, only 800 miles from the North Pole, this is the world's ultimate backup drive for civilization. But almost no one has ever stepped inside. The vault contains over 1.2 million seed samples. Everything from rice varieties that survived ancient floods to wheat strains immune to modern rust fungus. It is a fortress against doomsday, nuclear war, asteroid impact, climate collapse. The entrance is a stark concrete wedge jutting out of a frozen mountainside, illuminated by blue-green light. But behind that door lies a tunnel that descends into permafrost, ending in 3 massive chambers kept at -18 degrees Celsius. What makes it hidden? First, the location, Longyearbyen, Svalbard, is a town of 2,500 people, reachable only by a handful of flights from mainland Norway. Polar bears outnumber humans. Second, access is forbidden to the public. Even journalists have been turned away. Only a few employees and approved depositors, such as representatives of national seed banks, are allowed inside, and even they must pass through multiple airlock doors and biometric scanners. Since opening in 2008, fewer than 500 people have entered the actual vault chambers. In 2020, during the pandemic, the vault received a deposit of seeds from Sudan and Syria, but the staff who carried the boxes inside wore hazmat suits not for COVID, but to protect the seeds from contamination. The mountain itself is the guardian. If power fails, the permafrost keeps the seeds frozen for 200 years. The entrance was even redesigned after unexpected melting in 2016, proving that climate change is reaching even this remote sanctuary. To visit is to understand that some places are not for wonder, they are for insurance. Number 3. North Sentinel Island, Andaman Islands, Indian Ocean. The most dangerous place on our list, North Sentinel Island. Here lives the Sentinelese tribe, possibly the last uncontacted people on Earth. They have inhabited this 23-square-mile island in the Bay of Bengal for over 60,000 years, and they have made absolutely clear that outsiders are not welcome. In 2006, 2 fishermen drifted onto the reef. The Sentinelese killed them with bows and arrows and buried their bodies on the beach. In 2018, an American missionary named John Allen Chow paid fishermen to smuggle him to the island. The moment he stepped ashore, an Sentinelese teenager shot an arrow into his Bible. Chow retreated, returned the next day, and was killed. His body was never recovered. The Indian government has declared a 5 nautical mile exclusion zone around the island. Patrol boats circle constantly. Drones and helicopters are forbidden. Why? Because the Sentinelese have no immunity to common diseases like influenza or measles. A single sneeze could wipe out 98% of their population. So, North Sentinel remains a ghost on maps. Most online satellite images are deliberately blurred. No one knows how many people live there. Estimates range from 50 to 400. Their language is unintelligible to any outsider. They build huts, fish from canoes, and tend fires that can be seen from passing ships. But no anthropologist has made peaceful contact in decades. The last successful visit was in 1991, when a researcher offered coconuts from a boat. A Sentinelese man waited out to take them, but refused any touch. Since then, the tribe has become more hostile, likely because of illegal fishing boats and the 2004 tsunami that destroyed their shoreline. Today, fewer than 10 outsiders are known to have seen a living Sentinelese face-to-face and lived to tell the story. It is the ultimate hidden place, not because it's remote, but because a people have chosen to hide from us. Number 2. The Heavenly Pit, Shaozhai Tianqing, China. Shaozhai Tianqing, also called the Heavenly Pit, located in Fengjie County, deep in China's Chongqing province. This is the world's deepest sinkhole. It plunges 2,172 feet straight down. That's nearly 2 Empire State Buildings stacked. The opening at the top is 2,000 feet across. To stand at the rim is to look into a vertical world, a lost ecosystem of ancient forests, waterfalls that vaporize before hitting the bottom, and a cave system that leads to an underground river running 5 miles. So why has almost no one visited? First, the location. Shaozhai sits in the middle of the Daba Mountains, a region so rugged that the nearest city, Chongqing, is 8 hours away by bus and foot. For decades, the sinkhole was known only to local villagers, who believed it was a gateway to hell. In 1994, a British expedition descended for the first time. They rappelled for 3 days, sleeping on ledges, and discovered species unknown to science. White spiders, blind cave fish, and a strange orchid that grows only in the sinkhole's humid microclimate. To this day, only about 200 people have been to the bottom. Why so few? Because the Chinese government has restricted access. The sinkhole is part of a protected nature reserve, and permits are nearly impossible for foreigners. The descent requires technical rope skills, caving experience, and a guide who knows the complex network of side tunnels. One wrong turn leads to a 1,000-foot drop into an underwater sump. In 2016, a team of Chinese and French cavers spent a month mapping the lower levels and discovered a new chamber they named the Palace of the White Dragon, so large that a football field could fit inside. Above ground, tourists can view the pit from a platform, but they never see the moss-covered boulders at the bottom, or feel the constant mist from the underground waterfall, or hear the bizarre echo of a stone dropped into darkness. It remains a vertical secret, proof that even in one of the world's most populated nations, true wilderness still swallows explorers whole. Number 1. The Cave of the Crystals, Nica, Mexico. The Cave of the Crystals, deep beneath the town of Nica, Mexico. This is not a cave. It is a cathedral of giants. Discovered in 2000 by miners drilling a new tunnel, the main chamber contains the largest natural crystals ever found. Selenite beams up to 39 feet long, 13 feet in diameter, and weighing 55 tons. They are so clear you can read a newspaper through them. They are so perfect that they look like divine sculpture. But this beauty is a trap. The cave sits 980 feet below ground, above a magma chamber. The temperature stays at 136 degrees Fahrenheit, with 99% humidity. Without a specialized cooling suit, a human can survive only 10 minutes before their lungs fill with fluid and they die of heat stroke. That's why almost no one has visited. Since discovery, fewer than 50 people have entered the main chamber. The first explorers wore ice-packed vests that failed within 20 minutes. Later teams used cryosuits, the same kind worn in steel mills, and carried portable cooling backpacks that fed ice water through tubes against their skin. Even then, each person gets a maximum of 45 minutes. The crystals grow so slowly that a single inch takes 100 years. They formed from groundwater supersaturated with calcium sulfate, heated by magma to exactly 136 degrees, a sweet spot that allowed selenite to precipitate for 500,000 years. The cave is also actively dying. When miners pumped out the water to reach the crystals, they exposed them to air. Scientists have watched as the surfaces begin to degrade, like ice cubes in a warm room. By 2050, many crystals may lose their transparency. In 2017, the mine owners stopped all access, citing safety and preservation. Today, the entrance is welded shut. A few researchers are working on a plan to refill the cave with water to stop the decay, effectively re-hiding it for a future generation. To have seen the Cave of the Crystals is to have witnessed one of Earth's final frontiers, a place so hostile, so fleeting, and so impossibly beautiful that it belongs more to geology than to humanity. So there they are, 5 places that remind us that discovery is not over. We think of ourselves as masters of the map, but these locations, a burning desert wound, a frozen doomsday library, an island that shoots arrows at airplanes, a vertical forest, and a crystal oven beneath Mexico prove that the planet still holds secrets. Some are hidden by governments, some by nature, and one by a tribe that simply wants to be left alone. The scariest thought isn't that we'll never find these places. It's that there might be a number 6, number 7, number 10 that we haven't even stumbled upon yet. So keep wondering, keep looking, and if you ever find a new one, maybe don't post it on social media. Thanks for watching. Stay curious.